we had everything packed and leaving. Had Prayer and Explorer, that was our little, camper, wasn't it? Or was it a van? Drove by the farm and checked on the cows and then unloaded 3 bags of trash. Everything was pretty and green because we had a good rain here, but not at the house. Left the farm at 9:35. Alrighty, here we come. Excuse me. Ate lunch at the Texas Burger in Fairfield. Drove to Vernon and stayed at the RV park. Sam and John swam for 2 hours. Had a picnic supper outside of the camper. Went to bed at 10 o'clock after our Bible study and quiz time together. And then Tuesday at 7:50, we left the campsite after a breakfast of cereal and orange juice and coffee. We was cutting down a little woman outside camp. Frank got up about 5:30 and he bought me and him coffee from McDonald's. And we are headed toward Tijuana and New Mexico. Ate lunch at the Taco Bell in Dumas. Bought gas in Texline, Texas at 2:15.
Well, thank the Lord you got
New
gas.
Mexico and stopped in Trinidad, yeah, and got some information from a tourist information station. Drove through scenic route from Wallingsburg, where we bought film and groceries. Stayed in Alamosa at the Navajo campground. Sam and I cooked supper. He made a pancake. Sam did, he made pancakes and I made bacon and eggs. It was good. We went to Walmart and then went to bed. The weather was cold, 38 degrees last night. Wednesday, Monday. We woke up at 5:30 and I took a shower. We ate breakfast and left for the sand dunes. Do you remember the sand dunes?
Yeah.
That was something.
That's right.
We arrived at the sand dunes around 8:30 or 9 and waited. I think you'll have to read it. And waded water at the foot of the dunes. It was Medono Creek, and there was sand which looked like a beach, which we walked to the foot of the dunes. The sand was very silky. It brushed right off of your feet. The boys climbed real high on the dunes. Frank and I climbed up pretty high. Frank walked down into a hole in the dunes and I had to crawl back up. We then stopped and got $5 worth of gas.
$5 worth of
Just
gas.
to get us
Wow.
back to the campground because it was very expensive. $1.45 a gallon.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And that was back then. Well, I'm sorry. Okay. The boys got some souvenirs. Came back to Alamosa, filled up with gas in Alamosa, ate lunch at the campsite and loaded up and headed to Durango. Stayed at United Campgrounds. The boys swam, then we went to Boris Family Restaurant and then to Albertsons. Bought some supplies. The boys and I played a game and Frank went to sleep early. He was very tired. Thursday we went to Depot and bought train tickets to ride to Silverton and back. Oh, that was on that train, wasn't it?
Yes.
For Saturday. We went to Mesa Verde and toured the Indian cliff dwellers. Remember that, John?
That was really neat too.
The ruins of the cliff dwellers. Ate at KFC and Cortez. Came back to the campsite. John and Sam swam. Frank and I washed clothes, and Sam made melted cheese sandwiches for supper.
Man, Sam was a chef.
Well, I had our chef on hand one night on board. Friday, we left the campsite and turned the $1 Million Highway. That was so pretty. Went to Silverton, stopped and ate funnel cakes. I said, oh, good. I got an ice cream cone. I drove to Ouray, O-R-A-Y, walked around, looked at town, looked at town, a quaint little town. Drove back on the way back, to Silverton. On the way back, we stopped, and Frank and the boys walked up a mountainside to look at the old mining shaft. The altitude was too high for me, and I could barely breathe. My head pounded so hard and hurt so bad I couldn't go on with them. I sat down on a rock and thought I would die. We then stopped another place and saw a woodchuck rested on a big rock. You can't hear me.
We got a picture of that somewhere.
We went back to Silverton. Frank saw Brother Merle Fulmer from Level Land
He always finds somebody he
sitting
knows.
on the beach in front of a store. We found
Somebody you knew.
Frank visited with him a while. We ate pizza at a little cafe, came home and rested, and the boys swam.
Dad
Y'all
ate
swimming,
pizza?
didn't you? Friday night we went to the Bar D Ranch Chuckwagon dinner. There we go.
Oh, yes, that's what we
And
wanted
show
to
the barbecue was so good. They fed about 1,000 people. They served and was through in 1 hour. They're eating in 1 hour. They had barbecue, baked potatoes, baked beans, applesauce, special cake, no, spice cake, biscuit, lemonade, coffee. It was very good. The show was real good. I can't remember much about the show, but I do remember the barbecue was good. Saturday we got up and left camp at 6:45. Went to McDonald's and got breakfast to go. Went to the train station, left on the train to Durango Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad.
Fine, sure.
Got on the train at 8 o'clock to Silverton and left on the train at 8:30 a.m. and rode till 12:30. Ate lunch at a small cafe. I was so sick again all the way over there with severe headache, and I ate barley soup and coffee. Frank and Sam had buffet dinner, and John ate a hamburger. Shopped for souvenirs and got back on at 2:05. Left at 2:15, back to Durango around 6. Bought supplies and cooked meatball gravy, English peas, corn while the boys swam. And then we ate supper and played a game. Everyone slept well. We met some nice people who sat by us on the train from Indiana. She favored Mrs. Schubert. They had their 2 grandsons with them. The boys, Sam and John, visited with them and with their grandsons. Then Sunday, Frank and the boys had Bible study and breakfast while I was in the shower. And then we packed up and left Durango, headed to New Mexico, bought gas in Jacolo. Ate lunch there at a picnic area. We had our own church. Frank read from John 10, verse 10, how to have life and have it more abundantly. We drove through the San Juan Mountains on the way to Tejas. Do you remember Tejas?
Vaguely.
That was the neatest little town. They were beautiful, and I drove. I got done there, I drove. They were pretty and green with ranches on them, the mountains were. We stopped in Tejas, and Frank asked directions to an RV park. Some said I must write down that Pawpaw asked directions. We found a nice RV park and then went to, what was it? John and Sam played putt-putt golf, nice big golf course. Both, you like your aunt says, it hits you every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, found a nice RV park and then went to play putt-putt golf. Nice new golf course, bought some bread and ice and went back to the camper and I cooked supper while the guys took showers. Then we all played chicken foot. And, while the guys took, no, after that, we played chicken foot. We went to Teos and shopped, and Frank went to see the Kit Carson Museum. Did you go to that?
I don't remember.
I bet you did. We ate
Sure I did.
lunch at Wendy's. Stopped and filled up the car with gas in Las Vegas. But that's a different Las Vegas. Saw the Cadillac graveyard near Lubbock. Stopped in Canyon at an RV park. Ate at Wendy's. Tuesday we washed clothes and then went to see the Rancho Museum in West Texas A&M College. It was very interesting. Picked up supplies and our tickets to see Texas, yeah, that's that thing we saw on the hill, wasn't it, on the mountain? Or down in that valley or whatever. We ate supper at Slotsky's, went to see the play Texas in an amphitheater. It was presented in the Palo Duro Canyon. The play was so good, the acting was excellent, and the fireworks display was beautiful. At the conclusion of the play, and then we went back to campsite and went to bed. Man, we did a lot. Wore out.
I'm telling you, y'all had a packed full
Went back to
vacation.
campsite and went to bed around midnight after we read about Daniel in the lion's den. Wednesday we packed up the camper and left at 10, headed back to see Mary and Paul and Andy at Whitney. We stopped in De Leon and filled up with gas, thank goodness, and called Mary to tell her that we were coming. We got there around 7:15 and Mary and Paul were at prayer meeting and Andy was mowing the grass for someone. That's when Andy was staying with them. You remember when he stayed there with them? We visited with them until around 11:30, and then Andy went to work and Paul went to the church to help pour concrete for the church, parking in front of the church. They invited us to come eat hot dogs at the church. Peggy and Mickey Townsend, Brother Eddie, Brother David, the youth director, and some others were there. Lunch was good, and we went back to Mary's house and left for home around 1:30 p.m. Well, that was it.